SGA elections are heating up, and students will soon have to make a choice on their new student government leaders. A Georgia State student injured in a scooter accident fights for recovery in Grady Hospital. Find out how students can help fund his family during their hardship. The Atlanta Falcons will soon be playing in a new high-tech stadium. But how will the move affect the Georgia State Panthers, who share the Georgia Dome with the Falcons? Find out more on this week's Panther Report. Good evening, Georgia State. I'm Richard Moy. The SGA elections are here, and candidates are on the campaign trail hoping to win the hearts of GSU students. Stephanie Twum has the story.
With SGA elections heating up, there are many candidates campaigning, hoping to secure a position. For 3 days in the courtyard, 18 candidates campaigned for their position. On Thursday is the big and final night for all the candidates. What made you decide to run?
My motivation to run honestly comes from just being a student. I share the same concerns that many students share, and I've been in different leadership positions since I've been here over the past 2 years.
I think it is important to go out and get the students' input in decisions being made, and I think that was pretty much the driving factor in me deciding to run ultimately.
After spending a few days campaigning in the courtyard, the candidates campaigned one last time in a debate. The official voting begins next week. So how did the election process strengthen you guys? Like, what did you learn from the process?
Definitely learn from the process to be prepared for any rebuttal that may be sent your way, and I appreciate our candidates because I don't know if you all realize they had strong platforms. There was not one presidential candidate that was weak. So that in itself lets us know what we need to assess, where we need to really go and get the details on what it is that we're trying to lay out.
I'm excited. I think that all of the opponents did really well. I think the thing that I had kind of over them was experience, and I went into this knowing this, but I was shocked. You know, just after the debate, I went up to George and Andrew, and I told them that they did a phenomenal job.
One thing that I can say about the candidates that I've witnessed tonight is that they really do have passion. I think the passion is one of the key importance that any future presidential candidate, executive vice or vice president or senator candidate must have.
Reporting from the Speaker's Auditorium, Stephanie Twum, Panther Report.
SGA election voting is available this week on SGA GSU page. Students can vote for president, vice president, and senator candidates. Voting ends this Friday at midnight. A Georgia State student is in the hospital after an accident involving his scooter. Catherine Witherspoon has the details on a fund set up to aid the man's family during his recovery.
Meet Justin Graham, a biology major at Georgia State University, a musician, a good friend, and the father of 2-year-old Amelia.
I met Justin in junior high school, 7th grade, and we weren't really fond of each other in the beginning. You know, we both came from close-knit group of friends, and so we just didn't really get along, but that only lasted for a matter of months.
Justin lived a relatively healthy life until one day, all that changed. On March 16, Justin Graham was riding his scooter home from work when he was only minutes away from home and hit what used to be a pothole right here. He was then rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital, where he suffered several injuries. One of those injuries was to his spinal cord that has since left him paralyzed from the chest down. His friends have reached out tremendously and have since created a fundraiser in his name to raise money so when he returns home, he can live a comfortable life.
He was awesome, and he was a perfect fit for all of us. Became best friends, and it was like he'd always been one of our friends. And over the years, we got to spend a lot of time together, and he just became family, and he is family.
And the most important thing is just remember, anyone could be in this situation. It could have been any of us. It could have been anyone at Georgia State. It could be anyone in the world. And to have people, bound together and to donate towards someone that they don't even know is just remarkable to me.
If you would like to donate to the Help Justin Fund, go to Indiegogo.com and search for Help Justin in the search box. I'm Catherine Witherspoon, Panther Report.
The Indian Creek Recreation Area, which has been operated by Georgia State University for 70 years, will soon have a new $1 million lodge. The new lodge will be open to the general public and is expected to be completed in mid-September. The lodge was a home before the university purchased the property in 1938. GSU says the lodge has seen more activity and larger space is needed. Additional green space will be created with the removal of the old tennis courts. The Indian Creek Lodge is used for approved GSU group meetings and retreats. Since the arrival of the Georgia State football team in 2010, the Panthers have shared the Georgia Dome with the Atlanta Falcons. Cedric Alexander uncovers how that could change in coming seasons.
The City of Atlanta and the Atlanta Falcons have approved a deal that will allow for the NFL franchise to build a new stadium by the 2017 season. Compared to Turner Field, which was opened in March of 1997 and cost $235 million to build, and Phillips Arena, which was built in September of 1999 and cost $213 million to build, the new Falcons Stadium will cost an estimated $948 million to build. The costs are mainly due to the new retractable roof the Falcons are building that would allow for the team to control the climate of the games they play. Georgia State students have mixed feelings on the issue.
It'll bring more opportunities to the city, more performances and games and sports.
Something new in our city. It's something new to go and explore, go and have a good time. And everyone likes the Falcons in Atlanta.
I mean, is it moldy inside or something? What's the problem with it? I don't see the problem with the Georgia Dome at this current moment. It's all a business type thing that Arthur Blank just wants to do.
Plus, you can use the taxpayers' dollars, the $200 million, to fix up schools properly, and you can also use it to build the roads better.
Well, I'll miss the Georgia Dome, but it seems cool.
Arthur tried to be forgetting, so.
If it brings 3 or 4 Super Bowls in the next 5, 6 years, that's fine. I'm all for it. Y'all can have your new stadium. Enjoy it. Please. You deserve it. But, till then, I don't see the purpose of a new stadium.
Cedric Alexander, Panther Report.
Georgia State students who park regularly at Turner Field will have to park around the Braves season schedule. No GSU student parking will begin on April 17th. Braves games before 5 p.m. will close the lot the whole day, and games played after 5 p.m. will have the lot open until then. Students who park during non-GSU hours will be subject to towing by Turner Field parking officials. Coming up next, students share their thoughts on Desire to Learn and how it compares to ULearn. Also, a GSU graduate student professor and astronomer receives a whopping grant to study black holes. Find out more on Panther Report.
Does it feel like your alarm clock goes off earlier every morning? Do you have trouble waking up? Have you seen a doctor about this? If not, you can get your daily dose of caffeine at Saxby's.
All 35 defendants named in the Atlanta Public Schools cheating scandal indictment were required to surrender this week at the Fulton County Jail. A grand jury set a $7.5 million cash bond for former Superintendent Beverly Hall. According to the indictment, Hall and 34 others told students the answers to federally mandated standardized tests or changed these student answers themselves. The former school leaders are now facing 65 counts, ranging from racketeering and theft to influencing witnesses and even retaliation against whistleblowers. If convicted, the defendants face up to 40 years in prison. This semester, Georgia State students and faculty have made the switch to a new online operating system. Shanice Mason finds out how Desire to Learn compares to ULearn.
January marked a change for GSU students as they came back to school having to learn a whole new online system called Desire to Learn.
My teachers use Desire to Learn to post our notes, PowerPoints, PDFs, and links to articles I've read.
Desire to Learn, often referred to as D2L, replaced ULearn after the University System of Georgia deactivated the system at the end of the fall semester.
I don't see too much of a difference, but if I had to choose, I'd probably choose Desire to Learn.
I have access to my notes, PowerPoints, and stuff on one place I can go to.
But is D2L really a step up? Are teachers and students actually using D2L to its full potential?
When I first started using Desire to Learn, and still I think it's a complicated layout and hard to find things.
On the GSU IT site, they have tutorials on the D2L system, one for teachers and one for students. Reporting from Georgia State, this is Shanice Mason for Panther Report.
Georgia State's own assistant professor, Misty Bentz, was recently awarded a grant from the National Science Foundation that will assist GSU in the examination of black holes and dark matter. Alexis Carthen finds out more about exploring the unknown.
A 50-page document submitted to the National Science Foundation last July earned Dr. Misty Bentz a grant worth over $862,000 to support her research within the astronomy department. As an assistant professor at GSU, Dr. Bentz's job is composed of 3 parts: researching, teaching, and service. Her research focuses on supermassive black holes in the centers of galaxies and in determining their masses.
With her funding, allow us to get access to larger telescopes and more time on telescopes to determine exactly what's the nature of these supermassive black holes.
Dr. Bentz was unavailable for an interview due to a conflicting schedule, but via email she told us that in addition to aiding her research, a component of her grant is designed to bring astronomy activities to Girl Scouts of Greater Atlanta. Dr. Misty Bentz says she would love to make an amazing new discovery sometime in her career. However, outside her research, she strives to make a personal impact on people engaged in science. But, in her own words, science and astronomy are for everyone. Reporting from Georgia State University, Alexis Carthen, Panther Report.
Atlanta anticipates 150,000 visitors this weekend for college basketball's Final Four. However, some visitors won't be cheering on their favorite team, but instead protesting throughout the city. The congregation of Westboro Baptist Church will be outside the Georgia Dome on Saturday to protest the NCAA tournament. The group has attracted national attention after protesting numerous military funerals to show their opposition to homosexuality. The Westboro group will also be picketing outside of various churches in Atlanta on Sunday. Atlanta rapper Gucci Mane turned himself in last Tuesday after a warrant was issued for his arrest. The musician, whose real name is Raydrick Davis, was charged with aggravated assault with a weapon after allegedly hitting a soldier over the head with a champagne bottle. The soldier who encountered Davis at Harlem Nights Club on Cortlandt Street said he only wanted a picture, but was left with 10 stitches. Davis is in Fulton County Jail and was denied bond at his first court hearing on Wednesday. Governor Nathan Deal is in talks with executives at SpaceX, a rocket ship company, to bring business to Georgia. If Deal is successful, SpaceX would launch and build rockets at a proposed spaceport in coastal Camden County. The company uses rockets to deliver cargo to the International Space Station, but a spaceport in Georgia could bring business to the private space travel industry for years to come. Texas and Florida are also competing for the commercial space project, but this could be the introduction of a huge new industry in southern Georgia. In international news, North Korea's military continues to threaten South Korea and the United States. Both South Korean and U.S. officials are displaying that they are taking North Korea's rhetoric seriously, but are not too worried about the severity of these threats. In a show of military alliance with South Korea, the United States has deployed stealth bombers and stealth fighters to South Korea for practice flights. Though the two Koreas are technically still at war since the Korean War ended in a truce rather than a treaty, U.S. senior officials do not believe the threats are anything more than belligerent rhetoric. Stay tuned for your sports updates.
Welcome and thanks for tuning in to GSTV. We are the Executive Board members of Student Government Association, and my name is Marcus Kernizan, your president.
I'm Taylor Briggs, the Executive Vice President.
My name is Christian Hill, Vice President of Student Services.
My name is Adriana Michoni. I'm your Vice President of Academic Affairs.
My name is Theo Mohamuza. I'm your Vice President of Budget and Finance.
I'm Danielle Kleiman, and I am your Vice President of Public Relations.
My name is Jarrell Abrams, and I am your Vice President of Student Life.
Are you worried about your schedule getting in the way of the educational and cutting-edge seminars that Georgia State University has to offer? Well, we have great news for you. Starting this semester, these seminars will be available online thanks to GSTV and a partnership from us here at Student Government Association. From the prospect of resume building to the distinctive keynote speakers, we know that these seminars will help enrich your student experience.
Thanks for tuning in, and remember, our student government sit-in meetings will be broadcast live on GSTV every other Thursday at 7 p.m. Go Panthers!
Good evening, I'm Sean White with your Panther Report Sports Update. In GSU sports news, Chad Prain crushed 3 doubles and a triple to help Nick Squaglia hold on to his 14th career win as Georgia State toppled Alabama State 14-1 at the GSU baseball complex last Wednesday. Georgia State enhanced its record to 16-10 on the season, while Alabama State dropped to 15-12. GSU manager Greg Frady said, "We had all 3 phases going. We pitched, we hit, and we played defense, and we had guys come off the bench and contribute." Travis Lee also pitched a scoreless 9th to win the game. The Georgia State football team's 3rd day of practice noted the Panthers' first term in all gear and first chance for new head coach Trent Miles to watch his crew in contact drills. The defensive line is the main issue the Panthers want to develop for base and success this season. Head coach Trent Miles said, "We're still trying to get the team to understand the tempo that we want. Our expectation is that when we step on the field, we're going to be known as a physical football team." The top pieces of the defense are senior tackle Theo Agnew and senior nose guard Terrence Woodard, the team's 2nd and 3rd lead tacklers last season. Last Sunday night, Kevin Ware, the sophomore guard for Louisville's basketball team, broke his lower right leg in 2 places. Ware jumped to try and block the shot, and his leg bent at practically a right angle when he landed, and the bone coming through his skin. The frightening break was caught on national television. The game was 1 of 2 Sunday night, and with the berth in the Final Four at stake. Ware was taken to Methodist Hospital, where he is recovering and was recently photographed walking on crutches. In local sports, Al Horford scored 26 points, and Jeff Teague had 13 dimes as the Atlanta Hawks secured a playoff spot for the 6th straight season by crushing the Toronto Raptors 107-88 Wednesday. The Hawks still have a chance of getting home court advantage in the first round. They are only 1 game and a half behind the Brooklyn Nets for the 4th spot. Coach Larry Drew says, "There were a lot of people that counted us out at the start of the season and said we wouldn't be in this position with all the changes we made. Here we are." March Madness is officially over, and the Final Four is set to take place this weekend at the Georgia Dome. The teams in the Final Four are Louisville taking on Wichita State and Syracuse facing Michigan. The Georgia World Congress Center will be holding events such as Bracket Town and the Harlem Globetrotters. The Final Four will also host 3 free concerts at Centennial Olympic Park featuring the Dave Matthews Band, Flo Rida, and Muse. I'm Sean White, and this has been your Panther Report Sports Update.
Thanks for joining us. That's all for this week's Panther Report News. Don't forget to check us out on Channel 91 in University Housing and on our YouTube page, GSTV Panther Report, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Make sure to visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/Panther Report. I'm Richard Moy. Have a good week.